Hey, what's up, guys? Nick here with Superfriends episode 72, and with me I have CJ,
What's up, guys?
Luke,
What's going on, everybody?
and Tim.
How's it going, everyone?
And this is our second attempt at recording this episode. I just have to throw that out there because that is going to be on the back of my mind this whole time, recording this damn thing. But
Get it
yes,
off our
this
chest.
is
Our first one
our
wasn't
second
particularly interesting.
no, and we
Yeah.
pretty much shat all over something, so it would have
Just,
got a lot of flack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
just
probably
depressed
not
the
going to
whole
change
time.
that much this time through.
No.
Now we
Oh,
just have
God.
CJ to
No.
be a counterbalance.
Yay.
Everyone will comment saying good thing CJ's on here. And then
Now I see the funny side.
Before we get into the stuff here, how is everyone doing today? CJ, what have you been up to? I know you all just got off work and everything.
Yeah, got off work. I've actually been taking care of some health issues in the family for the last few days. That's why I wasn't on the original recording. I'm also sick, so I'm going to be sniffling the entire episode. Fair warning. But other than that, doing well. Doing pretty good. Excited to talk about the plot to Wonder Woman.
Oh no, are you not? Just tell you that right now.
We're actually going to talk about the Finn Jones whitewashing controversy. 100%.
No, that was a different podcast. That
You're
already
right. That
happened.
one also recorded today.
That's tomorrow.
That's right.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
Luke, what are you up to since our last meeting?
I'm doing okay. In all fairness, I've got my water with me, so that's good.
Your Zarka jug of water.
Yeah, it was Arca-jug.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
No, I got my Yeti cup. Keeps everything cold. Keeps everything
Ooh.
fresh.
Okay, Tim, how you been?
I've been fine. I visited my grandpa today with my mom, just to check up on him since he's been living alone since my grandma died back in 2013.
All right. How have I? What am I up to? Nothing interesting. I just got done. Actually, yeah, I just got done uploading a video just a few minutes ago, right before we started. Actually,
I saw it.
Yeah, I
New
can see it
Predator
right
image.
here in front of me.
Yep, that's
That
it.
one showed up in the sub boxes. I
Nick's
guess.
been recording podcasts.
Yeah, I had that is actually something to bring up. This is my third podcast as of this recording today alone. I did Alien vs Predator Underworld episode 3, Marvelite 72, and then now this one. So,
It's the Podmaster.
Yep.
oh man, I'm so burned out.
But speaking of
That does not
Predator, I
bode
think
well.
that there's something Predator related that CJ's going to tell us about.
There's actually this really cool. I don't know if I've actually told you guys this before, but this episode is brought to you by Loot Crate, that awesome subscription service. Every month they'll send you this box of unique goodies, geeky, nerdy, cool stuff. You'll get an exclusive T-shirt in there. You'll also get a bunch of collectibles. I know my favorite one that I ever got. I got that rare Groot pop. It's not actually that rare because thousands of other people got it, but I still have it sitting on my dresser. And a lot of you, I mean, you might be able to see it in some of the reaction videos if you go watch them. You can actually, using our exclusive link and a promo code that I'll give you in just a few seconds, you can get all these subscriptions even cheaper, 10% off. This month, the theme is Primal. Is it not?
Yeah.
I keep saying no. Wait, is it?
It is Primal,
Yeah,
It's
yes.
actually Primal. Aha! I got it right this time. I didn't say it was Power Rangers. It is Primal. It's going to have stuff from Predator in there, which I think Nick is supremely interested in. I'm actually interested in it as well. You're going to have until the 19th. So I think when this episode comes out, you're going to have 9 days to go sign up for this. Do us a favor, use our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybrid-network, and the promo code BRIDGE10, and we'll do you a favor, and you'll get 10% off any subscription. Not even, not just the 1 month or the 3 month. You can save 10% off the 6 month or the 12 month too, and you'll get a bunch of cool stuff for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds like a cool box, actually. Really good items in there. But with that out of the way, let's get into breaking down the entire movie of Wonder Woman. Yes.
Well, not the entire movie.
first act.
A bunch of critics got to go to their London editing facility and watch the first act of the movie.
That's such a weird invite. Come watch the first act at our weird London facility.
I mean, what's weird is it's like following in the footsteps of Logan, because Logan did that too. Back, I want to say like September or October, they showed off the first 40 minutes of the movie. it was like a screening. The press were invited. I think there were also like select fans invited. It was really competitive. They shot off 40 minutes of the movie, which at first I was thinking, like, I remember in the HNN, I said, wow, this is like a third of the movie, maybe even like half. We don't know how long the movie is. And it turns out that was actually maybe like a quarter of the movie. It was a really long movie, but it's weird. That seems to be not an uncommon thing that's happening nowadays. Showing off, at least this one was only press, there were no fans involved, but showing off the first, I mean, I guess it's maybe trying to engender some goodwill.
But it's also similar to what Marvel does with their Netflix stuff, where they show like half of it for critics.
Which is kind of biting them in the ass as far as Iron Fist is concerned, because, I mean, Iron Fist might have the best last 7 episodes of any series they've ever done, and nobody's going to care.
Oh, well. That's for a different podcast.
Yeah.
They showed the whole first act because they needed to figure out if they got to reshoot anything or add stuff.
That's true. Do we need to have the trailer company cut another cut of the movie?
Yeah, there's competing cuts, like 7 different ones.
What's ironic is they bring David Ayer in, and he does a cut of Wonder Woman, and that's the one they use.
It's called the street cut.
Margot Robbie shows up
and does nothing.
End of Wonder Watch.
But does anyone have a brief synopsis of what we see in this first act here?
Tim, use every single adjective.
I'll do my best
Lush.
with it, because the Slash Film article that we were reading this off of is very densely worded, which is probably more of a detriment to the first act than the actual first act is, because it makes it seem really uninteresting.
It's verbose.
But here's a general breakdown. The movie is a flashback, like it's been stated before, but according to this, it's not based around an email. It's just Wonder Woman thinking back after receiving the picture from Batman v Superman from Batman. We get to see the creation of the Amazons, which basically falls in line with that leak. They were created by Zeus. Man was created by Zeus. Ares was jealous, put the thoughts of war in man's head. Zeus created the Amazons to fight back against that. Then Ares kills Zeus, but before Zeus dies, he creates Themyscira for the Amazons to go to, and the God Killer Sword, which is supposed to be the ultimate weapon against Ares. This is being told to Wonder Woman as a child, as a bedtime story, because I guess talking about that is a bedtime story on Themyscira. We get to see the world of Themyscira after this. It was described as being like Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings. A lot of different architecture, lots of greenery, lots of flowing water. And basically from this point we see Wonder Woman growing up. She wants to be a warrior. Her mom doesn't want her to be involved in war. Then Antipode trains Wonder Woman in secret until she's 16, where Hippolyta finds out. After an argument, it's decided that if Wonder Woman's going to train, they're going to train her to be undefeatable. Next major thing that happened, Steve Trevor gets shot down over Themyscira by the Germans after having infiltrated them for the U.S. and British forces. He found out about subterfuge inside of the German ranks. After Steve crashes down, the German planes follow him, but the Amazons are able to thwart them off with their sticks and spears, similar to Amazon's attack or Avatar. From there, Steve is tied up in the lasso of truth, told that there's going to be a huge poisonous gas weapon being done by Dr. Poison and Danny Houston's character that they're going to drop on the battlefield, and he needs to get back in order to tell people about it to stop this. But the Amazons want to keep him on the island. Diana wants to go leave the island to go help in man's world. Her mom's against it. The two decide to break off together. They go to get Wonder Woman's stuff, which is where we see the Wonder Woman outfit, which apparently has no backstory. It's just listed as being one of many mystical items they have, like the Lasso of Truth. They break off, they go to England, which is drastically different. There's apparently going to be an armistice that's being signed between the Allied forces and the German forces, but this would prevent them from being able to go and stop the gas weapon, so Wonder Woman and Steve compile a ragtag group in order to go after it. Wonder Woman's not sure about them at first, but the rest of the first act is them growing together as a team, and then it ends with Steve and Diana dancing in the snow.
Wow, that is a 3-hour first act. Jeez,
I have no idea where they're going
really...
in their second act.
Yeah, the second act is them walking around in the trenches for 2 hours.
Just hanging in the trench.
Yeah, and then they fight General Ludendorff and Ares, whatever. I don't know. Any thoughts on this thing, or whatever this is, first act thing, or what? I don't know.
I mean, it kind of lines up with the rumored plot leak that we made a video on a couple of weeks ago, but it almost is like it runs side by side. It doesn't directly contradict, but it also sounds like just dissimilar enough that I'm now wondering about that. Especially the lack of like the email framing device. That's really interesting, although that might have been, an earlier like version of the movie. But everything else seems to sound like roughly about the same.
I mean, honestly, after the plot leak, they could have cut that scene out of it, because based on what it sounds like here, it just goes from her getting the picture to her thinking back about the entire movie, so they may have cut the email out.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is they might have just, cut from her, like, looking wistfully before she starts writing the email. They could have just cut from there.
But I like the email, though. It's good.
I hated it. Oh, my God. That's, like, the worst part of that leaked plot.
I want them to cut back to her just, like, staring up at the, like, up into the middle distance, like, in the middle of the Louvre, which is where she's working at the beginning of the film. Just like she's just standing there for, like, 2.5 hours looking into dead space.
Yeah.
Oh, she's standing on top of that, like, pyramid thing.
She's kneeling to, the tomb of Mary Magdalene, of course. Confirmed.
Yeah, Luke, what do you think about this first act?
It sounds very boring. It's, I don't know what it is about it. Like, I mean, it's basically what I expected, but it just sounds like a lot of nothing happens for a lot of time. There's a fight maybe on the beach with the Amazons and the Germans, but the most part it just seems like a lot of meandering. And I mean, I'd better love these characters, otherwise this first seemingly 2-hour long first act is going to be pretty damn boring, and I'm just not going to be too interested.
Yeah, it might sound boring on paper. It might be like cooler to watch, but I mean, you can't know for sure yet.
Exactly.
Like I said when I was leading into that, I feel like the way that this was written on the Slash Films page does a disservice to the first act, because it's so densely written. Like, it mentions like every minute detail about what's going to happen, so it may very well happen way more fluidly and faster than what they're presenting here.
Yeah. And hopefully it would. It's just, this is like word vomit. It almost seems like the guy that was writing it was clearly like either getting paid by the word, or like they were like, hey, we need 5,000 words about this. And the guy was like, 5,000? I'll see what I can do. It's just, there's so many and I get it's like really hard to convey like a lot of things. It kind of just feels a little hollow, I guess. But hopefully, I've still got hope. I mean, I liked the plot details, the plot leak, I guess I should say. So other than the email, which I'm kind of glad isn't in this, but
yeah. Last thing I wanted to mention too. I think recently we learned that there is a new trailer coming. It's been classified, so maybe we will see some of this kind of stuff, like maybe some more Themyscira flashbacks, like younger Diana or something, or maybe a glimpse of Ares. Who knows? Zeus in there. But...
movie needs more Wonder Tot.
There you go, Wonder Gal.
Yeah. But speaking of DCEU, recently the Rap El Mayimbe said that according to his sources, DC is 100% open to making R-rated films after the success that Warner Brothers has seen from Logan and Deadpool and other, I guess, R-rated comic movies like that.
Fox.
No, I meant Warner Brothers has seen from those movies.
Okay.
So.
They've witnessed, like everybody else, that it can work.
Ryan Reynolds
With
jumps up on stage and
though.
yells, "Witness me!"
There you go. This is like a cool idea. Like, of course, like it's like, yes, having an R-rated movie. Like, I think you should be open to it, but I'm a little worried that they're just gonna force the issue. It kind of feels like this coming out right after Logan came out is just DC being like, we can do R-rated movies, absolutely. Like we'll make an R-rated movie right now. It's like, no, like you gotta wait for the right. Like Lobo is really one of the only characters that comes to mind is like, yes, this should be R-rated. Maybe the Batman movie, depending on, like, if you really want to take Ben's Batman to the next level. But it's like, there are very few characters that I really think need an R rating. And it's just, you know, it's like, just because Fox did Deadpool, who needs one, and Logan, who finally got one, you know, it's don't force it. This kind of smacks of like DC being just desperate for something.
Yeah.
You know, they want
I
to
haven't
cash
seen
in
Logan
on
yet,
that
but
R
even
rating.
with Deadpool, like, that was a pretty soft R.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it had
mean,
swearing,
there
it
was-
had
yeah.
a bit more violence
Sexual
than usual,
content,
but I wouldn't
some
really
violence.
say, like, if you had told me it was PG-13, like, maybe you'd get away with it.
Yeah, like there was only like 1 or 2 scenes I think that really.
I think it was what's funny is the MPAA is such a stickler for the language. I would almost guarantee that's what did it.
Probably.
It's
Yeah.
because I mean I remember that's the big thing about First Class is, you know, Logan got to say, you know, go fuck yourself, because you get like, it's like a ratio, it's a checklist. You can have like 1 fuck if you only say bitch 3 times. But
So they
It's
get
called
3.
the bitch to fuck ratio.
there
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 go.
has to be a better way to phrase that.
It's one of those things you see in like fighting games. It's like what is it? It's like a hexagon with like different like, it's like growth. It's like measuring. It's like, okay, you said fuck 1 time, but you only said bitch twice. You did say shit 7 times though, so it's gonna be R. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Like that's the thing that determines it.
Yeah.
So I
Rated
guarantee,
PG
like,
for fantasy violence.
there you go. I mean, I think it was mostly
Fantasy violence.
I think the language. The violence was a little bit, you know, I think it was once they determined we're going to get an R rating, they were like, well, let's you know, they didn't go over the top. I feel like Logan went a little over the top with like, there's a certain point it's like, oh, look, another guy lost a limb. But I mean, that would happen. That's cool. But it just seemed like, I don't know, like some movies nowadays don't really do that so much. It's like to see that happen dozens of times in the same movie. And before people think I'm shitting on Logan, oh my god, no, I love that movie to death. It's just, you know, I feel like it was gratuitous.
Yeah.
It was a little like, I called it realistic Tarantino, like, because Tarantino goes like gratuitous to the extreme, but this was like brutal.
So
Yeah.
so DC movies that I'd like to see rated R would be, going back to the topic, Justice League Dark, Suicide Squad 2, Deadshot, and maybe Gotham Sirens too could be rated R.
Interesting.
Or Red Hood actually too. I forget about him.
I mean, all
They were
those would
bringing
work
in.
fine as R-rated movies, but honestly, just for universe building, I want more of their R-rated stuff to be more standalone and not directly connected to
Yeah.
anything. 'Cause
Yeah, like Dark Universe. That's
well,
standalone.
probably
See,
Dark
there's-
Universe regardless, but yeah, because when you're trying to like build a universe that's connected off of each other, like there's a reason why all of Marvel stuff is PG-13. It's so that they can maximize the audience for each one and more people can see all of them.
I mean,
Not
there's
that they
there's
can't
a
see R
reason.
movies if they have like an adult with them,
No.
but it's just easier to see PG-13.
There's a reason why like the R rating was considered the kiss of death for a long time, and it's because you are like gonna miss. No pun intended. I really stressed the R there, and I didn't mean to, but you're gonna miss out on on a huge swath of the audience that you're trying to attract, and you know, especially for characters like, you know, well, Deadpool, I guess has. I feel like that movie was seen by way more kids than it probably should have been, but hopefully not. Like hopefully, like Jesus Christ, if some parents took their kids to Logan, but
I
you know,
I saw a few in my theater.
Jesus,
Yeah.
I
Happy
like what I
birthday,
did.
little
5-year-olds in
Johnny.
there.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
think,
again,
like,
to be fair, there's nothing there I feel like it's gonna scar them greatly. Just,
no,
Probably not.
I mean, Professor X saying, you know, fuck a couple thousand times, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Logan, definitely. I wouldn't bring a kid to Logan, but Deadpool, there wasn't really a whole lot in there that.
Yeah.
no, I mean,
is, like,
Ryan Reynolds'
terrible
bare
for a child
ass,
to
I
see.
guess, and getting sodomized.
That's an R rating
Well, I mean,
all on its own.
Yeah,
There you go.
I guess so. But I mean, like,
American
again,
History M.
That's why
But-
if you got hands, cover little Johnny's eyes.
I mean, to me though, it's like
Well,
you
popcorn.
are. There was a reason why it was considered the kiss of death, and it's because some people are just gonna. Their kids are gonna stay at home. It's you know, it's the kids won't go see it, and then it's like, well, I'm not really interested in watching a Deadshot movie that's R-rated. I mean, Little Johnny would have been, but it's R-rated,
That'd
so
be
Little
awesome.
Johnny
If you
can't.
Deadshot do some John Wick stuff, some gun fu.
Dude, that would be
blowing
so.
people's
That's
heads
actually
off.
like
That would
if
be
I
a
could
good
pick.
direction to go in.
That
If I
might
could
be
pick
pretty
one
cool,
movie
yeah.
to be R, it would be Deadshot. Like, give me some hardcore, like, Floyd Lawton, John Wicking the fuck out of people.
There has to be some reason we're following him.
He brings the sword from
Yeah.
Bright and starts fucking people up.
Yeah. I don't know. Some good ones that Suicide Squad I think really would have worked very well as an R-rated thing.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because I feel like it's a very gritty thing, especially if you read the Ostrander original stuff. It's
No, that was
Retroactive,
PG
yes,
actually.
absolutely.
That old run.
yeah, but I mean like if you update it, I don't know, whatever.
No,
I feel like it
no.
would work. I mean,
Okay, fine. All right, Suicide Squad, stay PG-13.
we
Never
could have seen
change Suicide
Slipknot's head
Squad.
explode in 60
Stay the way
frames
you
per
are.
second.
No, only stay PG. Never change.
Never change, never go up. Honestly,
No,
if it
gee.
were up to me,
Friendship
I'd do...
is magic.
Luke, honestly, if it were what?
Sorry.
I would have said a rated R Swamp Thing movie, but he's never gonna
Ooh.
get a movie, so
No, he won't.
He'll get a movie announced at least.
No, Man Thing got a movie.
So
I
did
can't
Swamp
wait to be
Thing, he
hype
had
at
two.
SDCC for the Swamp Thing movie
We
announcement.
should do a Man Thing commentary. But anyways, any other thoughts on the whole R rating controversy or whatever? we're talking
I was
about?
actually going to ask if you could pick like one. If you guys could pick one to be R-rated, just one, what would it be? My answer was Deadshot, but
Oh,
That's
I don't even want
probably
Suicide
Squad
mine
to
too.
anymore.
I just want them to use the R rating responsibly.
use it responsibly.
We don't need an R rated
say Gotham-
Superman 2.
Gotham Sirens R rating for other reasons, but
I was going to say it's reasons.
yes.
Awkward silence. Luke, which one would you choose?
I already said Swamp Thing.
Oh, for a second I thought he was going to do like the King of Rohan. You have no power here. You're not the host. It's like, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
my only thing. Just because I don't think, because I know a lot of people are gonna say Lobo. I think in the comments, but I really don't think Lobo needs a movie.
Okay.
Welcome to the Lord of the Rings podcast.
Well, before we move on to the next topic, I wanted to mention too how recently Chuck Roven was, interviewed about I think Wonder Woman. I think he was. Yeah, it was regarding Wonder Woman. He did talk about some other DC movies, saying that in future solo movies there will be flashbacks and flash forward to get the audience acquainted with more aspects of that character's universe. Like he mentioned Aquaman specifically. He said, when we get to the point of the Aquaman movie, it's a post-Justice League world, and of course Atlantis has existed for a while, so there will be stuff, explaining all that and whatnot before the events of that movie. So, I mean, it makes sense that they would do that kind of thing, but yeah.
Isn't that basically what they're doing now? I mean, Wonder Woman is entirely a flashback. Man of Steel had flashback for its entire first act. Suicide Squad had flashback to show all the major team members doing stuff.
Yep.
But now they're acknowledging it, and that's all that matters.
Flash forwards.
That's
I
the
don't
way
use
of the
those.
future.
There you go. Ugh. Oh my god.
Damn.
I mean, it's. I really hope the question was. The rumor is Wonder Woman is just one big flashback set up by an email. It's like, is that true? It's like, look, they're gonna have flashbacks, okay? But it's. I mean,
Yes.
flashbacks are okay. It's like the R rating. It's do it for the right reasons. It can't be like just gratuitous. Like, we're gonna have flashbacks for days. That was the one thing that
Yeah.
killed me with Man of Steel. Is I liked Man of Steel. It's just like, what's happening? Like, are we flashing back? Are we in the present day? It's a rather disjointed narrative.
Yeah, I think the issue was that the flashbacks weren't in order for Man of Steel.
Yeah.
That was
You
probably
couldn't really see growth of the character because they showed him at sporadic ages through the flashback, and we didn't really get to know him all that well in the present, so we couldn't really see how the flashbacks were affecting him.
No, that's true.
Whereas
No,
in Wonder Woman, you're gonna see like her reaction, her expression changes.
Her whole movie. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
She has her eyes shut and her face changes while she's thinking.
Standing there for 2.5 hours in the middle of the Louvre. Thanks, Bruce.
They have to do cutaways to that in the movie. They just have to.
It's one big
A
run-on
bird
gag.
lands on her.
No, someone throws food at her.
She's in
She's
stasis.
still standing. Yeah, speaking of people throwing food and stuff, there was new Aquaman test footage. Yeah. Zack Snyder released some footage on his social media account called Vero, which like nobody has except him.
He is like all in on that, and I don't get it.
I don't know, pioneering. But anyways, the footage shows Jason Momoa kind of doing this little swim up to a throne. I think like some like other characters kind of sitting down. People are speculating like, who is that? Is that Orm? Is that somebody else? Like we don't know. But I mean, the footage itself looks pretty cool in terms of like a little teaser thing, and it was confirmed that is Jason Momoa on like a little CG crane kind of holding him as he moves through the.
In another Vero post that was revealed.
Yeah, another. He's like, it is Jason, guys. It's not a CG
Jason.
thing.
Which is weird because like we were this kind of piggybacks like indirectly like after a period of months, but it piggybacks on reports that was really the thing with Aquaman. The bugaboo was it's like, how do we make it seem realistically underwater? Because I guess in the Batman v Superman scene, he was literally just underwater, and that's why it looked like he was holding his breath. Because he was. But so that was like the issue. It's like everybody was like, Aquaman can breathe underwater. He shouldn't have to be holding his breath. So that's... Yeah. It actually, though, like, this... It looked cool, but I think what was more, like, impressive to me was the whole crane setup. It's going to be really interesting to see how that translates into the entire film. But from the test footage, it's like, damn, if you can get that effect, like... You figured it out. The problem is solved. Like, it looks great.
Yeah, definitely. Luke, what did you think of this little teaser promo clip thing?
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it looked nice. And it just gets me, still a little bit more excited for Aquaman. Very looking forward to that movie. It seems to be the one that's going along very smoothly.
He's swimming along smooth.
Yeah. That's a good one to make.
Tim, what do you think of this little footage?
The test foot, I think it looks pretty good for what we have right now. Like, the image itself, kind of blurry, can't make out everything with it, but from what it seems to be, it looks fine.
Yeah, I wonder, like, so is this for Justice League or is this for the Aquaman movie?
I'd assume Justice League for this, just since Zack Snyder is the one posting it.
Also, I don't think I think they start filming Aquaman this summer, right?
Yeah, in May.
Yeah, so they wouldn't... Like, they could have potentially filmed, like, a test scene for it.
Which is what, I mean, people are speculating, like, this might be Orm on the throne. I've seen some people speculate, though, that it could be Poseidon to tie it into Wonder Woman a little bit. Or my guess is, actually, it's just going to be, like, a dead Atlantean king that has the mother box. Like, some kind of grave or, like...
Now, who is that, there's reports that Atlantean is gonna be in the movie, like, one of, like, I think it was, like, one of the scientists or advisors or something.
Volko?
Yeah, but I wouldn't imagine him being on the throne, but it's a possibility, I guess.
He's keeping the seat warm, is what he's doing.
I guess I'll just give my brief thoughts really quick, but I do like the little footage here. But I'm just curious, like, how they're gonna do that for his solo movie. Like, is the whole movie gonna be underwater? Are they gonna do like land stuff? I guess probably.
Yep.
Around his childhood home and stuff like that, like flashbacks or whatever. But
I assume portions of the action in the film are gonna take place on land, just because doing the entire film with an expensive rigging setup the entire way through, just like financially not the best option.
Yeah. So
I kind of hope not, even though, like, financially you're, like, 100% right. It wouldn't probably be feasible, but it's like this is, like, the way, like, people were always like, hey, the Thor movies should just take place entirely on Asgard or somewhere else, not Earth. It's like, I'm just the other way around this time. I'm like, the Aquaman movies should take place entirely underwater. But
Aquaman 7.8, too much water.
There you go, 7.8, a little watery. But it's all good.
This is the DC's chance at a Thor-like movie, right? Or is it not?
I mean, probably. I've seen a lot of people compare Wonder Woman that way, especially because it's about her leaving and interacting with Earth and humans and stuff like that.
I mean,
but
honestly, it feels more so like first Avenger just set one war earlier.
I've seen both comparisons.
Yeah, so hopefully Aquaman has like a more interesting story than, I guess, in that whole mythology aspect of it, but
only time will tell.
I guess,
Fingers
exactly.
crossed.
Hopefully we get, like, I've heard that, well, according to Mayimbe, Aquaman is the breakout character of Justice League. So I mean, hopefully that is true and that people actually do like him and want to see his movie. Support that and everything. But before we get into our last segment, we do want to remind our viewers of something really quick.
It's true. And that reminder is that this podcast is brought to you by Loot Crate, the awesome subscription service that sends you a box of cool, unique, geeky goodies every single month. You can actually save a ton of money on this just by using our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybridnetwork, and the promo code BRIDGE10. This month's theme is Primal. It's going to have some cool stuff in there from Predator specifically. If you're watching this podcast for the first time, brought here by some of that Alien versus Predator content, might be worth looking into. You can try 1 month, get 10% off, and then decide, go from there. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a Predator pop figure, but at the very least there's going to be a unique shirt in there and tons of other good stuff, so go ahead and check that out. I think Nick had mentioned he's interested in this month. I'm actually probably going to get it this month too. I'm still trying to get the hookup for like a free thing, but I don't think they're going to come through with that. But yeah, so once again, that's www.trylootcrate.com/hybridnetwork and the promo code BRIDGE10.
Yeah, definitely. So go check that out. But last segment here, we got to talk about our viewer questions for the week. So again, thank you for submitting these with that hashtag #AskSuperFriends. First question is from Scott Applier, Pop Cult Fan. He says, if Dr. Fate was to be introduced in the DCEU in the future, who would you guys cast as the character, and what movie do you guys think he would appear in first? That's a good question, actually. Dr. Fate. Luke, what are your thoughts on this one?
Jaleel White and
No.
Honestly, I don't know who to cast. I'm terrible with casting, but if it was being made, Justice League Dark would probably be a good place for him.
All right, Tim, fan cast.
I guess that my best option I can think of would be like if they do Kent Nelson and they portray him as being like sort of older, like having been around for a bit. I'd probably do something like Pierce Brosnan.
That'd be dope.
Huh. Dang. I would say, I mentioned this in the last recording, but I would say Daniel Craig could do it, maybe.
I'd be interesting. I'd definitely be down for that.
Who's your pick, CJ?
I see Tim and I raise him even older. I say Terrence Stamp. I say bring back the old school DC vet, introduce him in Shazam.
Kneel before fate.
Or even Hugh Laurie could be Dr. Fate.
That would be fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good casting too. So I feel like if they play him as American, you get too many like comparisons to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and I think the best bet is an old Brit.
So he is British and he's not that young.
That's true. Luke being the odd man out, always casting Jaleel White.
He's got range.
He's got the range.
I honestly believe he can play anywhere.
He's got the look.
World.
As
He's
Naboo
got the look
said.
down. He is. He can be Kent Nelson or Hector Hall,
There you
whichever
go.
one they want.
All right. Last question. Warrior Crook says, should Nightwing have the electric batons in the DCEU? Yes.
Yes. Of course.
Yeah.
What else would
Yep.
he? I mean, what
Well,
else
he
would
would have that halberd. Remember from BVS? Robin had that spear thing.
That's
to kill
true.
people
He
with?
had he had a fireplace tool.
How else would Dick murder people if he didn't shock them to
true.
death?
Stop
God,
their hearts.
that's gonna kill me. Don't tase me, bro.
Tim mentioned last episode that the baton should like come on and off, like they could just be like weapons just to hit people with them. Then electric, whatever, switch them on.
Yeah, just like
So.
have the electricity be an enhancement and not a full out feature.
That'd be pretty cool, but I mean that just makes the most sense. I mean that's his like iconic weapon. Why would you not use that? So.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I think people might just kind of meld him with like Tim Drake and give him like the bow staff or something like that. And I'm like, just don't do that
I mean, they can
for
do
Josh's
both.
sake at least.
They can do it like Teen Titan style, where the bow staff collapses into extrema sticks.
There you go. Just kind of sticks them together and.
But that does answer your question, where yes, he should have them.
You should absolutely have them.
Yeah, with all that said, this has been Super Friends episode 72. Thank you guys again for checking out the episode, and if you want to get your questions answered on next week's episode, leave them down below with hashtag #AskSuperFriends. So, with that being said, we will catch you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
Later.